Hi, my name is Mark and I'm going to talk you through how to use Diamond Science Scribbler Virus Factory, which is the Zooniverse project that we're working on at the moment. This specific one, we're working with data that was collected from the EBIC facility at Diamond Light Source, and they've done a very high resolution images using an electron microscope of viruses infecting a cell. And what we're interested in is where those viruses are in relation to the rest of the cell, and also what stage they're at in their the virus life cycle. So to help us with this project, if you log on to Zooniverse and go to the Diamond Science Scribbler page, you'll see something that looks a bit like this. If you scroll down a little into the Get Started area, you can basically kick off the process with the two tasks we have at the moment, the virus picker and the virus classifier. Ultimately, there's going to be a few more tasks on here, so do check back later, but we need the information from the first two before we can build those. So let's start with the virus picker. When you click on this, for the first time, you should go straight to the tutorial. And this tutorial gives you a very nice lowdown on what you need to do, how to do it. So I would recommend reading this the first time you go through. To summarise, here we have four different looks of the same virus in four different stages. And what we're trying to do is identify any of those that we can see in the image. The rest of this details exactly how to do it and what you need to do. It's well worth a read. If you need to, you can always go back to the tutorial at any point by clicking on the tutorial tab here. So in the task, what you'll be done is you're shown an image, and here's one which has got a nice lot of viruses in. We already have the virus picker tool active, and what we're trying to do is just click in the middle of each of the viruses that we see. And they should be roughly the same size or smaller than the virus picker. Now here, we must be in a very deep part of the virus factory because I can see lots and lots of virus particles. So I would say in general with this, pick any that you think could be. There's a step later on that we're going to do which will get rid of any that are wrong. So any that you think could be, just drop a thing in. If you get the wrong position, you can grab any of these and you can drag them to get them into a little bit of a better place. And if you drop one in the wrong place and you realise, oh, that's really not what I want, you can press the cross to get rid of it. Once you've identified all the viruses on here, then just scroll down a little bit and you can press done. If you see something particularly interesting and you'd like to chat about it, then there's a whole talk section, so you can do done and talk and it will talk specifically about this particular image and you can ask questions about particular things. So I've identified all of the viruses that I think that are in here, and I'm going to press done. And that will take me to the next image. You keep identifying viruses as you go along. As I say, click in the middle. The closer to the middle you can get, the better. It's not imperative that you get the exact centre, but the closer to the middle it is, the easier it is for us to do the following steps. So we click done. Here's a nice example of a blank image. When it's blank, just don't drop anything in and keep going. There are likely to be lots of blank images because we're imaging a whole cell. The viruses are very prevalent in some areas, but not in others. And you may see some other features. Oh, here we go. Here's some nice clear ones. These are these ones at the edge here. You can see the extra ring around the outside. So we can plop these guys on here. And essentially this is the process that we follow of simply identifying each of the things that you think are viruses and then moving on to the next step. Now I didn't get very close to the middle of that one. Let's plop that there, and I think this one was a little bit off as well, so we'll just move that. Good. And then you can carry on going for as long as you like. As I said, this is a reasonably short task, not that difficult to do. When you've had enough of this, or you want to try the other one, if you go back to the main Science Scribbler page, then you can see there's also the virus classifier. If you click on virus classifier, then what we're trying to do here is identify the viruses that have been picked in the first step, what they are, And once again, there is a tutorial that tells you basically the processes that we need to go through, and you can continue through this to look at which ones there are. So let's go. Here we have the empty virus, the full, the main body of the virus has got content in it. This is the strange one. This one looks like a little star. It's not round, it's got this star shape, or with this membrane around the outside. Or it doesn't look like any of these, or, well, there's nothing here. So I'm going to look at this one, and for me, I really can't see there, so I'm going to say there's nothing here. Let's go to the next one. Now this one, I can start seeing the shape of a star. So this one, for me, looks quite like one of these star-shaped ones. This one looks a little bit like the filled one. Oh, that's a bit tricky. I think I'm going to say that that looks a bit like the empty one. I can see the outer ring there. Yeah, I can see the outer ring. In fact, actually, you know what? I'm going to change my mind. I think that's not a virus. Yeah, I can't see anything in that one, so I'm going to say there's nothing here. And I'm going to say there's nothing here too. I was just hoping to find one. Oh, I can just see the edge of a star shape there, so that's probably one of these. Oh, and here we go. This is a nice one. We've got a nice clear outside with an empty middle, so that's got to be the empty middle one. Once again, you carry on for as long as you like identifying these, and essentially that information will all head its way back to us, and that will allow us to move on to the next steps of this process. If you have any questions or queries, you can always talk to us in the talk section. There's currently no boards up. That's because I'm making this before we open the project fully, but essentially will be some boards here that you can talk about, and if you start talking about any of the specific tasks, and then members from the team will come and talk to you about the specifics in terms of what we're doing or anything like this. There's also information about who the researchers are, who we are, what the team is, and why we're trying to achieve this. If there's any other questions, then you should be able to access them through these sorts of the tools on the talk. Other than that, thank you very much for your help. I hope this tutorial has been useful, and yeah, please do participate as much as possible and let your friends and colleagues know if you think they could help as well. Thank you for your time.